So I wanted to make a quick video about this trade. So I made £192 in 2 seconds, and I never talk about how much I actually make in the market because you don't actually need to know, and it doesn't help anyone. Me telling people I've made X amount in the market. The only people who do that are idiots and people who want to flex how much money they've got, or people who want to say, yeah, you can make millions trading my 10-minute strategy a day, which is completely moronic. The only reason I'm doing this is because I actually posted about this trade on Twitter before the market had even opened and told everyone they could make this money. Nobody actually was interested, so I pocketed it myself. So if you think the market is efficient, here's the tweet from the 30th of December. So we can see 7:56 a.m. Okay, it got 17.4k views. Obviously, that's up to now, and we're in January. But it did get a couple of thousand before the market had even opened, I think, or at least several hundred. So people were aware of this trade, and nobody wanted it. And the reason that this trade is interesting because it's not a trade I often do. It's not my bread and butter. If you've followed me for a while, you know I like to trade breakouts and breakdowns. But it's worth understanding because the auction is completely underrated by a lot of traders and investors. Now, I use this for great execution. I've written articles, I've written threads about it, but people don't really use it for whatever reason. And this is a neat little trick you can sometimes do to get some lunch money. So in this stock, Highland and Wolf, there was a profit warning, and it was gapping down from, I think it was like 20 pence. And we can see the market makers were opening up at 12.13. Now, I wrote the tweet, this is the danger of good till cancelled orders. Whoever has left that in at heart is in for a surprise. And what that means is someone obviously wanted to buy yesterday 25,000 shares at 20.5 pence. There's now been a profit warning. That order is still live, and that person may have forgotten about it, they may have slept in, they may have not seen the news, but good till cancelled orders will stay until you actually cancel the order. So this is why they're dangerous, because you'll end up being filled, months later at a price you don't want to be filled at that you didn't even know you had. So if you are going to use limit orders with time expiration, make sure it's like a week or something. I mean, I don't think I do them for longer than a day, unless it's a stock I'm really keen to buy. I'm watching. I might leave it in till the end of the week, however many days that is. But someone here wants to buy 25k at 20.5 pence. And as you can see, you can buy in the market probably at 13 pence. So why would you pay 20.5p? But this is what was happening. Someone, and this is why I actually posted the tweet, because someone had seen it. They put stock on the ask to sell into this order at 20k, 15p. So I thought, okay, the arbitrages have spotted it, and I might as well tweet it because I'm not going to trade this because someone else has decided to take the arbitrage, and time priority matters. So because they're at 7.52, they'll get the most competitive price at 15. What usually happens with this is that it's quite rare to actually find an arbitrage because people will jump on it. It used to be really good back in the day, but software and everything has caught up. And now when there is a wide gap, that arbitrage really does narrow. So I think this might actually be the most I've ever made on an arbitrage trade. I rarely ever make more than £100 on these, but if you could do them, they're nice. Obviously, you've got to take commissions in, you've got to factor that in. So as I say, it's not really a huge trade. It can just be quite fun, and it is quite fun making that much money in 2 seconds because it feels like you've solved a puzzle and you've won. But yeah, this is why I posted, because someone had left it in, and for whatever reason, this order was pulled. And I was watching the auction at like 3 minutes past, and this order was still here. This person obviously who had left this order obviously doesn't follow me on Twitter, because it would have pulled it immediately. But they didn't for whatever reason. And so I got on the phone to my broker and said, can I short 24,000 shares in HAL? And the reason it's 24 is because you don't want to go above the order, because that can actually change the uncrossing price. You want the uncrossing to be at 20.5, because that is the that's where you're making money. It's no point in uncrossing at 13 and you're selling at 13. You can buy at 13 because there's 0 pence in that. But yeah, I put the trade on. Obviously, the last second brigade, the people who put the orders in at the last second, they narrowed the gap down, and it uncrossed at 15.2 pence. So I sold 24k shares. I sold 24k at 16 pence, so it uncrossed at 16 pence, and then on the phone I bought it back instantly with my broker. So 24,000 shares at spot 8 pence is £192. I probably shouldn't even have highlighted this on Twitter. Maybe some people were following me and thought, actually, I'm going to jump in at the last second and get that arbitrage trade off him. But the reason that I'm sort of posting this video is to explain it a little, because I did get some questions after it. But the market is not efficient, and I've built my career on this statement because it's just not efficient. I'm not a very smart guy, and I can make a living trading stocks. And it's things like this. I actually posted the tweet several minutes before the market was open. All my followers obviously were not interested in it, so I took the money for myself. It's just not efficient, and this is just one small example of many examples. But if you do see trades like this where there's an order way out of whack of what the market makers can do, you can sometimes buy or sell in the auction, buy or sell it back to the market makers, and they are getting wary of this now. So what they'll do sometimes is they will lower their RSP online bid once the stock has uncrossed, like immediately, because they're spiteful, and they know that you've taken the trade purely for the arbitrage, so they'll try and yank the bid down or hype the offer up, so you don't make as much money and you just get rid of the stock and they make a bit more money. Sneaky, but that is market makers for you. But yeah, this trade can be a nice trade sometimes, but yeah, anything that is big will usually get arbed out. But if you do have any questions on this, please let me know in the comments and I will be happy to answer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.